It's time to pray. It's time to say, Lord, forgive me. It's time to pray. It's time to say, Lord, please forgive me. It's time. It's time.
Hello, world. Welcome to another telecast of It's Time, brought to you by Ministries Without Boundaries and Eden's Garden. Today, we want to talk about Purpose Cannot Die. I'm your host, Evangelist Jasmine Gordon. And with me, no stranger to some, Miss Simone Layler, a teacher, an author, a podcaster, and a woman who is mandated by God to bring healing and restoration to wounded women. Welcome again.
Thank you so much for having me again.
You are welcome. We're not tired to see your pretty face around here. Today we want to talk about purpose cannot die.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help us understand what that phrase means?
It means that we were all created for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
In the book of Jeremiah, the Lord tells us that before He formed us in the belly, He knew us.
Mm-hmm.
And so He had a plan for us at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And the enemy would have been privy to some of what the Lord has planned for you,
Mm-hmm.
because he would have seen some things.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would try to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord has promised us that no weapon formed against us will prosper.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever it is that the Lord has ordained us to do,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot die.
Mm-hmm.
There may seem to be a delay. We
Mm-hmm.
might take a break
Mm-hmm.
from life. And so our purpose might be a little dormant, but the Lord's will must prevail.
Wow.
And so the purpose He has put in us, it must. There's no question about it. It must come to fruition.
Many people are unclear of their purpose. How can they find their purpose?
You find your purpose, you know your purpose when you feel that sense of the Lord. You know, as a parent, when, or as a child, when you're pleasing your parents, you know that you're fulfilling what they want for you. You can just feel their actions towards you. You see their posture towards you. You can feel the love, you know. And so when you're in the Lord's will and fulfilling your purpose, you're going to know, because He's going to send confirmation and reassurance to let you know that keep going. I'm with you. You're doing what I want you to do.
As you mentioned earlier, that the enemy will do whatever it takes to block and stop your purpose. What are some of the obstacles that he may throw in the way to prevent one from fulfilling their purpose?
Sickness.
Mm.
He can put poverty. Yes, poverty can block your purpose or delay your purpose. You know, dismantle relationships. Yes, there are a number of things that can happen to derail your purpose. But just remember, it cannot die.
It cannot die.
No.
You know, we're talking about Purpose Cannot Die. And with me here, I have your book, Purpose Cannot Die. And I read in here, and I want you to share that story with us about you, your mom, your dad. I don't want to give it away. And what your mom did when she woke up out of the coma. Share with us, take us along that journey, how you came about Purpose Cannot Die and why you're still here.
Well, that story is where the title of the book came from, because I recognized later on that I was here for a purpose. And despite the fact that when my parents, because they were both stricken by the polio virus in 1954 when there was the outbreak. And so they were raised in an institution. And so after becoming adults, young adults, they got pregnant, and all the powers that be, both family and from the institution, instructed them to abort me. I was not supposed to be here. But you know, the Lord gave them the courage and the strength and the wisdom to fight. and they won that fight. And I'm here today to talk about it because they're both deceased, unfortunately, and I saw where if they had not had me.
But before we get there, hold on. You mentioned that your parents were in the institute because they were stricken by the polio virus. And when your mom got pregnant with you, authorities wanted her to abort you, to commit abortion. But your dad stood up.
He said, over my dead body.
Not over my dead body.
Yep. And he said, when he was relating the story to me, he said, because it got the heads involved, everybody involved. And he remembered when one of the matrons said to him, well, with or without your permission, we're going to do it. And he stood up with his little weak legs and said, over my dead body. And, you know, that resulted in a lot of consequences for them. Because my mom was no longer allowed to return to her grandparents where she would normally be if she's not in the institution. And it was just a fight and a struggle, but the Lord sent help, and they were able to find shelter and all of that. And I did not know this story until my mom passed. And it was something she had said to me because she was in a coma for 2 weeks. And she just woke up out of the blues. And at the end of tidying her one evening, both the nurse and myself were there, and she said to me, come here. She said, lay right here. And I said, Mommy, I can't lay there. The rail on the bed is up, because she was in the hospice by this. And I said, she said, with her eyes closed, she said, suppose I didn't know you. And I got scared because I thought she was losing. And she said, no. I said, Mommy, it's me, Simone. You didn't know me. You have me. And she said, I know. And she was very calm. And she said, suppose I didn't have you. Suppose I had thrown you away. What would have happened to me? And her eyes were still closed, and she said, I would have died already. Who would have taken care of me? You know, and when she said that, tears welled in my eyes, and the nurse's eyes were welled up, and I didn't understand this. So it was after she passed, because she went right back into the coma the next day.
Hold on. You said your mom was in a coma for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And out of the blue, she woke up and called you and said, come here. And what she told you was, or asked, what if I didn't know you?
What if I didn't
So in other words,
you?
she was referring to the moments when they wanted to abort you.
Exactly, but I didn't know what she meant. So I went to my dad and I was like, what does that mean? Because then my grandmother, her mom, who came down for the funeral, she said something that made it even more complicated, because she said, yes, because she wasn't supposed to have children, and that's why she couldn't go back to her grandparents' house. And so I went to my dad, because I'm like, no, this story's not adding up. And so he told me, and you know, that was the moment I realized that I was here for a purpose. Yeah.
I read and I know that your mom, she didn't only have you, but she went on to have
My
other
brothers.
children. But you know, you have parents who have 6, 7, 10 children, and maybe only one, you know.
I'm the only
sit there.
girl, so I was the one who was her primary caregiver. I was there for everything. My brothers would contribute in other ways, but I was her physical caregiver, despite the fact that I had my own family, young children, and all of that work, school, you know.
And while she was ill, you were the one there to take care of her right up till
her
last breath. And not only that, you were the one, when your father fell ill, the same situation, it was you.
Till the end, until his eyes closed.
Hence, purpose cannot die. You need to get a copy of this. We can't tell you the whole story. You need to get a copy of this. Purpose cannot die. You may find yourself in the same situation, and you think that you're good for nothing, your life is over. But it's not. You are here for a reason. You are here for a reason. Continue, my sister.
Yes. So it was that helped me to realize that, you know, Lord, really, what if they had gotten rid of me? What would have become of my parents? You know? And that was when I got the revelation about my purpose, that I must have been here for a reason, because I saw where the enemy tried to take me out. And he tried to take me out even before that by striking my parents with that disease. And I'm like, oh, so you come in good and strong. And so as I went on in life, I started to find that I'm doing things that confirms that I'm here for a purpose. The Lord has put me here for a purpose. He has put me through stuff that, you know.
And not only your mom, your dad had polio, but you didn't.
No.
None of her children, none of the children.
None of their children.
Wow. Such a blessing. Purpose
Cannot
die. You know, when I read that, tears, when you told me the story, I read the story, tears welled up in my eyes. What if I didn't know you?
What if I didn't know
After
you?
being in a coma for 2 weeks, she came out to ask you and to let you know indirectly that you weren't supposed to be here, but you are purpose in the will of God.
Amen.
And you're pregnant with possibilities and
Amen.
you cannot die. We'll be right back.
Amen.
Did you know there were reasons that prevent our prayers from being answered?
No, I didn't.
38 reasons for unanswered prayers.
Wow. Tell me more.
After I read it, it felt like 2,000 volts ran through my heart. It's eye-opening and thought-provoking. You know what I love about it? It reveals my nonverbal thoughts and exposes my innermost secrets. Believe me, it's life-changing.
Now I'm curious. I want to know why my prayers are not being answered.
Welcome back. You are listening to It's Time. I'm your host, Evangelist Jasmine Gordon, and my guest is Miss Simone Laylor. Once again, Miss Laylor, thank you for being here. We're talking about Purpose Cannot Die, and you wrote the book. It's a page turner, riveting, a blessing, an eye opener, an encourager. You know, and like you mentioned that you're called to encourage and empower wounded women. Wounded women. You are wounded. Here is a manual for you. You feel less than. Here is a manual for you. You feel as if you have no purpose. Here's a manual for you. Purpose cannot die. You cannot die. So we were talking about, the situation with your parents and that you're still here. And that's not the only thing that you do. Like you mentioned, you are a early childhood teacher, and there are children who sometimes don't have lunch to go to school, don't have bus fare, and you help, you chip in because of the purpose that God puts inside of you. For those who are watching us and they say, I don't know my purpose. What is my purpose? How can I find my purpose? How can I identify my purpose? And they are struggling to find their purpose. What do you say to those individuals?
Seek the Lord. Ask Him. He said, if you lack wisdom, ask. And if you're not figuring it out, if you don't think you know just quite yet, I would implore you to seek the Lord. He says you're to ask, and He's going to give it to you. He's going to make it known. And once you ask, then you have to be still, be quiet, and observe, and just know, and the Lord will make it clear to you. Nobody else can tell you what your purpose is. He's your creator. He's your maker. He knows. He wrote the manual.
Yeah. What's the difference between purpose and goal?
The purpose is that for which you were created. A goal is something that you're trying to achieve. You're trying to get to a destination.
Say it again. So nice, I want you to say it twice.
A purpose is that for which you were created. And a goal is a destination where you're trying to get to.
Okay,
something you're trying to achieve.
You were looking at me when you were saying that. Now I want you to look in that camera and tell that person.
Your purpose is that for which you were created. A goal is a place or a destination that you're trying to reach or something you're trying to achieve.
How can one really align their purpose with the will of God?
As I said, you need to find out from him. He's the one who wrote your manual. So he can just send you to the the exact page. You don't need to scroll the entire book and waste more time, because the enemy has kept you out of your purpose for long enough. And there is such an urgency at this time in the kingdom for us to get with the program.
Yeah.
We don't have the time now. We don't have the luxury of time to be seeking and wondering. It's time to go directly to find out. And when you find that purpose, get with it, because we don't have a lot of time.
Time is not on our side.
Time is not on our side. Just as the enemy knows his time is short and he's trying to, in the same way, we have to do the same thing. Once you become aware of your purpose, you have to get going, because the Lord sent you here for a reason. You're not just here for decoration. And if you wake up every morning, it means that the purpose is not yet fulfilled.
Yeah. Wow, you're not here for decoration.
Nope.
I like that. Oh my God. So when you talk about purpose, you know, as I mentioned, a lot of people are afraid. They may know their purpose, but they're afraid to step into their purpose. Why is that?
I can speak to that one because I've had that experience. I am a teacher, yes, but I'm at my best when I'm with my students locked in a room. But putting me in front of an audience, I feel, yes. And so the enemy realizes that. And so he tries to use that. And so I have to be deliberate in going and saying, I know that this is what I'm called for. This is my time. Like Esther, I've come to the kingdom for such a time as this. And this is what I need to do. And so I have to make an effort. And so you will have to make an effort. You know, don't allow fear to grip you. Yes, fear. Fear keeps you from your purpose, from achieving. Yes.
I was just about to ask you, what are some of the things that can keep you or keep someone from their purpose?
Fear, the self-concept, low self-esteem, the sense of not being enough, the sense of I'm not worthy enough. Who am I to think that somebody would, you know, that I could be that important in that role? Yeah.
So not fulfilling one's purpose, how does it affect the relationship with them and God?
I think it brings a sense of, like, as if you're wandering. It says, I like to say, not everybody who is wandering is lost, but you do feel lost. You feel aimless. You feel as if you're milling around. And you're not achieving, you're not accomplishing anything. You know the word of God, there is a manual. So there is something to line up and you can say, but I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Lord, what is my purpose? I feel like I'm not doing anything. And so it will cause you to go deeper in search of your purpose and have him reveal it so that you can.
I want you to take a minute and encourage someone who is searching, who's wondering. They're not lost, but they're searching and wondering about their purpose. Encourage that person.
Your purpose may be delayed. It may be sleeping, but it is not going to be denied, because the Lord gave it to you and you're here for a reason. You're here because your purpose cannot die. Your purpose cannot die. It will not die. The Lord will not allow the enemy to steal your destiny. Not one bit. And so take courage in knowing that there's work for you, there's a purpose, and it's time to get going.
Finish this statement for me. It's time.
It's time to rise and get to what the Lord has called you to do.
Did you hear that? It's time to arise and answer the clarion call. Fulfill your purpose and destiny. We'll be right back.
Are you satisfied with the way your loved one is being treated in their golden years? Are you comfortable with their level of care? Are you pleased with the facility, their new home? Do you sleep well at night, believing that their environment is safe? Do you believe they're receiving personalized care? If you answer no to any of the above, it's time to give Eden's Garden Assisted Living Facility a call today. A nurse is always on premises, and their monthly rates are affordable and all-inclusive. They're in Palm Bay, Florida. Don't delay. Call today.
From the dust of the earth he formed me. I'm falling, but I'm so glad he made me all over again. Thank you, Jesus. If your life is not worth living and your home is sinking fast, if your feet have crumbled under from the rubble and the blast, take a glimpse into your future. Step away from your past. He will give your life new meaning. He will rescue you at last. Have you been to the potter's house? His hand of mercy lifted me, a sinful life that I was living. Oh, I know it just wouldn't last. But I entered to the potter's house. I placed my vessel into his hands. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me over again. I know it took some doing, 'cause I was twisted, I was lean, my countenance was haggard, I was bitter, I was mean. But then he placed me on the spindle where my heart began to gleam. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me whole, he made me clean. Have you been to the potter's house? His hands of mercy lifted me, the sinful life that I was living. Oh, I know it just wouldn't last. Oh, I entered the potter's house, placed my vessel to his hands. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me over again. I know it took some doing, 'cause I was twisted, I was mean, my countenance was haggard, I was bitter, I was mean. But then he placed me on the spindle where my heart began to gleam. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me whole, he made me clean. Have you been to the potter's house? His hand of mercy lifted me, a sinful life that I was living. Oh, I know it just wouldn't last. But I entered
potter's house, I place my vessel into his hands. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me over again. Have you been to the potter's house and of mercy lifted me? A sinful life that I was living, oh, I know it just wouldn't last. But I entered to the potter's house, I placed my vessel into his hands. On his wings of grace and mercy, he made me over. He made me over again. Oh, on his wings of grace and mercy, he made me over again.
Welcome back. And that song just told you that the potter wants to put you back together again. Have you been to the potter's house? Miss Layla, thank you so much for being here.
It's my
We're
pleasure.
not out of we're not out of words. We're just out of time. All right. Purpose cannot die. You are purpose in the will of God, and you are pregnant with possibilities. And you're watching us here today. It's time to rise up and fulfill your purpose. Everyone does not have the same calling. I often say you may not be called to the public, to the pulpit. You may not be called to television or the radio, but you can make a difference in someone's lives, whether it's at work, at church, on the street, in a shelter, wherever it is. You cannot die. And I just want to let you know, God can do more for you in 1 minute than you can do for yourself in a lifetime. All you have to do is make the choice. God will make the changes. But don't get it twisted. Your choice determines your destiny. Your choice determines with whom you spend eternity. Your choice determines where you spend eternity. If there's something that we say here and you want to hear it again, please visit us at YouTube, Ministries Without Boundaries. Please reach out to us, whether by phone, email, or texting. We want to hear from you. See you next week, same time, same place. God bless you. I'm Evangelist Jasmine Gordon. Thank you for inviting me in your home, car, hotel room, and place of work. I do hope you've gained something from this soul-stirring episode. We would love to hear from you. Call, text, or write us at the information listed below. And if you are led to sow into Ministries Without Boundaries, you may do so via Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, or the P.O. Box. And don't forget to join us for another soul-stirring episode right here. For it's time.